You know, Jeff, you do bring up some valid points. But I guess you could say I'm just one of those people that kind of still believes in some way, form, or fashion that this is indeed a work by CM Punk and WWE. Because let me remind you, like I said in the previous video, and you'll see this, CM Punk knows how to work the internet. He knows how to work the crowd. Go back to when he was leaving, everybody thought he was leaving Ring of Honor. And the night that was supposed to be his last night in the company, he wins the belt, and he basically reveals he had worked everybody. Hello? You know what I'm saying? He knows what to do. And maybe partially part of it is the fact that he is fatigued. And yes, there are reports coming out about signs being taken away at NXT events, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But now you have reports that Vince McMahon himself wants CM Punk back. And I can't blame him. But again, I think this is all part of a work. Now you might ask yourself, well, why do people think it's a work? Because like I mentioned, CM Punk knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to work the internet. Just when you think you know what's going to happen, that's when he pulls the wool over your eyes. I mean, you don't think that maybe he doesn't realize how big of an opportunity his match with Triple H is? Yeah. He lost to Triple H 2 years ago, but things have changed. And it's WrestleMania. And whether Triple H likes the guy or he doesn't, he does realize that what's best for business is to put him over. Now you might say, well, that doesn't mean he'll be in the main event. Wrong. See, he'll be in the main event. You see, I think if this is legit, Vince McMahon is going to try to work his magic, if you will, get CM Punk back, and possibly part of that agreement of getting him back is to make his match with Triple H at WrestleMania the headliner, the match, so that people can sit back and enjoy it. And sit back and enjoy it, and think about how big and important that would be. Think of stipulations that could be added. Let's say he comes back, he gets his match with Triple H, it's the headliner, it's the main event, it's the last match on the card. A lot of things can be put on the line. One, CM Punk, storyline-wise, CM Punk wins, landscape changes, and the landscape of the company changes. Not just storyline-wise, but legit-wise. Storyline-wise, Triple H and Stephanie are no longer COO and Executive Vice President. They're just, for Triple H, he's back to being a superstar. Stephanie, she ends up being a diva. End of story. It makes sense. It makes sense to go in that direction. It makes sense to want to build towards that in a very realistic way. And you know it. And you know it. Now, does CM Punk deserve to take a break if this is legit? Of course he does. Of course he does. He does deserve to take a break. There are times I used to work at certain jobs when I was in Lawrence, Kansas, when I used to live in Lawrence, Kansas, where I would be scheduled to work 6-hour days, maybe 8-hour days, and I would be asked to work an additional 4 or 6 hours. And I would do it. I would work 12 hours, maybe 14-hour days. And I would be fatigued. I would want to basically get away from it. But, I'd want to get away from it. I want a mental break, but I would come back. I would come back, literally. I'm just looking at something out there. But I would come back the next day or the day after and work. But I can understand. Because I always felt like, man, I need to take a break. I am just burnt. But I would do it. I would come back. But I can understand if this is legit, he does need a break. But the point is, Jeff, and you do bring up some good points. I'm not saying you don't. I mean, he does deserve this time, if it's legit. But I'm trying to point out, like I said, that this has got to be a work. I mean, why so coincidentally he's gone? This is not, I'm not going to say it's not CM Punk. It's not all CM Punk. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it's all CM Punk. I'm not saying that. It's all his decision, if legit. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying CM Punk shouldn't care about himself. I'm not saying that either. Because like you say, that's the purpose of working in a business, of making money. You want to make money to take care of yourself or maybe even your loved ones. But the thing is, CM Punk also realizes the ins and outs of the business. Like I say, go back to his time in Ring of Honor, which supposedly was supposed to be his last night with the company. Yet, he wins the title and he reveals he worked everybody. Don't you think he doesn't realize that with WrestleMania coming around, people pretty much knowing what could be heading in their direction as they head towards WrestleMania, do you not think he realizes, hey, something needs to be done so that people will be caught off guard? He realizes people, you don't think he doesn't realize that the reaction fans get with Daniel Bryan is not just legit, but it's, causing havoc in WWE? Of course he does. He realizes that fans are going to want this, and fans know they're going to expect to get it, but he also realizes you got to throw these fans off. You got to do something they would never see coming. Do something that, they would never see coming. And that one thing that they would never see coming is someone like him walking out. Again, like I said in my previous video, and I'll say it again here, I'm not saying that it's not legit. I'm not saying it's not real, because I can understand where he's coming from. If it's legit, I can understand why he's doing it, if it is. And maybe, with the rumors that WWE is having emergency meetings now and it's going into damage control, maybe if it is legit, maybe this is what he wanted. Maybe he's trying to say, hey, look, you guys don't want to, maybe this is his way of saying, hey, you guys don't want to keep doing this. You need to do what's right for business and not what's right, what's right for business for the fans, for the people in the back, and not what's right for your pockets. In other words, you got to do what's right for the love of the company, for the love of the business, for the love of wrestling, and not just, hey, what's right for us? What's right for our pockets? How much money we can make. So to me, that's what that's what CM Punk, if this is legit, is doing. This is what he's doing. He's making them wake up and realize, he's making them wake up and realize, oh crap, we need to get our act together. We need to get our heads out of our butts, and we need to start seeing things in a more correct way, in a way that makes sense, in a way that doesn't get us a negative reaction. Yeah, you got people talking about the company right now. You got people talking about them. And maybe that's what they want. And again, that also goes back to me thinking this could be a work. Because what better way to get people to, agree with what what better way to get people to, buy your, watch your product, keep their eyes on your product, than to basically do things or even do something they wouldn't see coming. And of course, as mentioned, they never saw the whole negative reaction that they got with, Daniel Bryan and the yes chants and the yes movement and all that. They didn't expect that to happen at the Rumble, but they should have. But they should have seen that coming, but they didn't. You know why? It's because they felt, hey, we could just brush it off like we did at Survivor Series. No, you can't brush it off like you did at Survivor Series. You got to accept it for what it is, and you got to run with it. You got to roll with it in some way. You got to be like, okay, fans are giving us this reaction. We need to change. And they should have had that. And they should have done that right off the bat, but they didn't. And Jeff, that's what I'm talking about. You know, they realize now they're at a point that they need to do something unexpected. They probably met with CM Punk. They wanted it to leak out that this was going to happen, make it seem real. And that's what they've done. But again, this is why I think it still all work. Okay, now you're saying, well, wait a minute, JR. Now I know what you and anybody else could say. You're saying, well, wait a minute, JR says it's not a work. And, you know, maybe he believes it. Maybe he believes it's legit. And that's what maybe CM Punk wants. But why do you have guys like Dolph Ziggler and Ryback coming out and saying, hey, I get this, like, talking about? Why would you have them coming out and saying anything about it if it's not a work? It's a work, guys. And WWE's doing whatever they can, quite honestly, letting you know right now, they're doing whatever they can to get you to believe it's legit. And you know what? It's more so not just WWE creative. It's probably CM Punk saying, hey, we got to make this look so legit. People from all areas, TMZ, whatever, will be talking about it. But here's the further truth about it. If CM Punk is gone, why hasn't WWE said anything? Why hasn't Punk really said anything himself? It's because it's a work. But that's just my response to you, Jeff. You let me know what you think. Comment below. I'll talk to you guys all later. But that's just my opinion.